Same game, new thing. Velocity cares about the direction you're going in, so it is positive if moving in positive direction. Obviously, negative is moving in a negative direction. Okay. Sometimes this will require a quicker response. I might rewind if people don't respond quickly. All right, here we go. My position,
Positive.
my displacement,
Negative.
my velocity,
Negative.
my velocity.
Oh, positive. Oh,
Negative.
Wait,
We're positive if you're moving in a positive direction.
right.
Yeah.
The question was asked when I was still doing this.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
negative.
Oh,
No, positive.
positive is that way.
Oh.
Or are you changing the coordinate system?
No.
Just being around. All right, velocity,
Negative.
position,
Negative.
displacement,
Negative.
velocity,
Positive.
position,
Negative.
displacement.
Negative.
Okay. Velocity,
C0.
and now the tough one. There are two ways of looking at acceleration. At least we've talked about forces already, so it's a little bit easier. Most textbooks do this stuff first, and it's nice if acceleration, it's nice if you've done forces before you do acceleration. It's also nice if you've done acceleration before you do forces, but what can you do? All right, so acceleration is positive if net force is in positive direction. Negative if net force is in negative direction, and zero if net force is zero. That would be equilibrium. Or if speeding up, velocity and acceleration have the same sign. If slowing down, velocity and acceleration have opposite signs. All right, that will give people a chance. So right now, my velocity is, okay. If I stop, so I'm going to go in that direction again. I'll have negative velocity. If I stop, what is the direction of the force that has to be applied to me to get me to stop? That's all. No, Jared Taylor? Or Shay? Darn it, why him? Shay, sorry. Jay, it looked like you started to point and then you stopped.
Yeah, the force is going to outweigh the
Okay, so the force, if the force, I saw two people point in that direction, there might have been more. If the force is in that direction, what was my acceleration as I stopped?
Positive?
Yes,
Oh.
another way of looking at it, I was moving in this direction and I stopped. In order to stop, I have to slow down. Since I'm slowing down, velocity and acceleration are opposite signs. My velocity was negative, therefore my acceleration is positive. So, I'm standing right here. Velocity now is,
Yeah.
like,
Zero.
a couple people worked it out. My position,
Positive.
displacement,
Positive.
acceleration,
Zero.
It is at the moment. Not because I'm stopped, but just because my velocity is not changing. So now I start to move. So when I go from rest to moving, what was my velocity? Okay, because I start moving in that direction.
So, like, which one would be, I guess, the more dominant one? Like, if your velocity is positive, if you're moving in the positive direction. Wait, hold on. Okay, picture it. Because if you're walking in the positive direction, but you're slowing down,
Right?
would velocity would be positive, but acceleration would still be negative?
Yes.
Okay.
Or if I'm going in the negative direction and I slow down, my velocity is negative, my acceleration is positive.
Okay.
The biggest trouble I have students making here, the biggest trouble I see students have, is that they so associate positive acceleration with speeding up and negative acceleration with slowing down. And that is not necessarily the case. That is the toughest thing I've seen students try to bring. All right, so right now, again, my velocity is, enthusiasm would be okay. And then I start moving in the negative direction, so my velocity is still negative. You keep wanting to say positive. Do you want me to do one word that's positive?
I keep thinking acceleration.
I think it's the way you're facing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that looks like negative to me.
Oh. And you actually could define the entire universe based upon you as the origin of everything. And the way you face, you have this rotating coordinate system every time you move. It is possible. It is not the simplest way, but it is possible. All right, so right now I'm at rest, velocity 0, then my velocity becomes negative. What was my acceleration as I went from rest to moving in the negative direction? Why? I heard,
You're speeding up.
still trying to break people with that. I'm at rest. Which way do I have to be, which way am I going to be forced in order to move in that direction? So I saw one person point that way and one person point that way. If I'm standing here and someone wants me to move in that direction, which way will they push me? Is that positive or negative? So my acceleration is? It's negative. Force and acceleration are always hand in hand. If I'm pushed in the negative direction, my acceleration will be in the negative direction. So from here to this, that's negative acceleration. That's positive acceleration. As I stop. Move it around. My velocity right now? Right. As I start moving, what was my acceleration? Because I'm pushed in that direction. As I move in the positive direction and I stop, what's my acceleration? Somebody, I think, pieced it out syllable by syllable.
Negative.
Yeah. So so acceleration being positive or negative has a lot to do with which way you're already moving in, which way the force is acting on you. It is, again, not a speeding up, slowing down automatically. And we're going to have to end it at that. So next time on Monday, after we do any questions, then we'll talk about sort of the introductory test level problem, and then we'll do a test level problem where you get to do this for something more complex. It will be epic. And Shay, I apologize, for some reason, I'm getting your names backwards.
It's okay.
Hopefully I'll break myself of the habit.
Can I ask you a question about the, lab really quick?
Yes.
Okay, so I was graphing, yesterday, and I was trying my best to put everything on one graph, both balls on one graph,
Right.
but it was a hot mess.
Okay, you're doing it on the computer?
I am.
Okay,
And I tried to make it two different colors, and between that and the equations, it just looked like, to me, it looked like a hot mess. I don't know how you would look at it.
all right. If the issue is you're printing in black and white and having trouble differentiating, or you're not even that.
No, it
looked
just
at?
looks a mess. I don't mind putting it on the same graph. I had a hard time figuring out how.
Did you watch the video, and the video was confusing, or?
No, I could do the single graph.
Right,
But then kind of putting it, my husband had to help me, and then I lost it, and then I was like, I accidentally deleted it, and then I tried to figure it out, cause he was trying to work with my kids, and it was a mess. But I realized that when we first did it, I was like, this is a mess, and then I tried to change the color, and it still to me looked like a mess. I don't know how you would look at it,
all right.
but I've managed to get it on two separate graphs,
But not one.
but not one, and I don't mind trying to figure out again how to
Right.
put
If-
it on two different graphs.
If
on
you
the
put
same
them on
graph.
separate graphs,
Mhm.
because the directions explicitly say on the same graph, there will be a penalty for that.
Okay.
So the question is, how much is that worth it to you?
Well, I mean, I wanna get it done the way it's supposed to be done.
Right, so, I don't suppose you have a flash drive, do you?
I don't, unfortunately, no, I have it on my husband's computer.
All right, how do you wanna handle this? We could go over to the computer and I could do a quick example in front of you.
That would be perfect, because he even had a hard time trying to figure out how to get it on two graphs. It took him an hour to do that.
Okay. All right.
And between him and I was just like, forget it, I'll just ask him in the morning.
Okay. And,
I just wanted to hear her.
okay,
her
well,
partner.
let's enter to the computer and see what we can do.
Let me get my phone. My husband is like the genius when it comes to Excel, but he gets so busy with work that sometimes I'm just like, never mind, it's not even worth asking.
I'm hearing this world does not revolve around you?
No, it doesn't. No matter how hard I try.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. It's been 14 years,
Something that I don't think people tell you in advance, but when you hit the 20-year mark, you
Mhm.
no longer have to listen to your spouse.
He started that at like year
Well, some
I
people
was
are
in my
advanced.
parents'
That's
something about
okay, I started at year 2, so.
All right, so why don't we
Oh, I was
drop heights, I'll just
at my phone.
make up numbers here. Skip one. All right,
There we go.
downside 1. And that's it, yes it does. So. And. Oh. That seems awfully big there. I want something at least remotely not horrible. All right. So insert, chart, scatter plot. All right, so automatically it's come up with 2 of them because I have sort of my X values there and then the 2 Y values side by side.
Gotcha.
And it assumes it's gonna do that. Now, it doesn't necessarily help you if you don't have it formatted that way. And then I would go to quick layout
He did it well, that's why.
and then add Trendline. We'll do it another way. It automatically comes up as linear. You wanna click those 2 buttons down there. and that is for the orange one. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap here, so I'm trying to put this equation so it's
Right.
gonna be closer to the orange line. We'll find out when we have the blue line. And then add trend line, display those. All right, and so put that near the orange line and.
Can you get around that by making the, well, I don't have to mark these.
Well,
I can make it two different colors.
all right, so if you want to, if you're gonna print in black and white and you
Mhm.
need something else, so let's go to, I need to make sure I click on the dot and not the line itself. Nope, that doesn't do it.
Oh, I would print it in color anyway.
All right, so there are the dots right there. Now it's a matter of where do I find it? Marker options, and then I can change the built-in. Then I can change that to a different symbol.
Okay, gotcha.
And then my line itself, I can, I can change the width of it, and, oh, there we go, dash type. I can make that one solid, so I can differentiate that way if you're doing black and white.
Okay.
Okay.
That was the part we were having trouble figuring out, so.
Ah, okay.
So I was like, forget it, we'll just do it in two for right now, and then I can ask him later.
All right, and then don't forget, you'll need to change access titles and chart
Yeah.
title. All right, so if you have just one of them, so let's get rid of this data. Or. Really? X. What is it doing? All right. All right, so I have that set of data, I want to add something to it. So I click somewhere in here and do select data. I want to add the X values are going to be my drop height. And my Y values, might have to delete that first before I do it. I'm going to be right there. And so I don't have a name for it because I left that off. And now I have the second set of data, which I can then do add to one. I think that's the new one. Okay. Oh wait, that's the steeper slope. So that'll be for the blue line. This is for the orange line. Now your data will not be as overlapped as this, which is one of the reasons why I wanted two balls of very different downsides.
Sure.
And I lost the place to put my title, so I would come over to, so I need to click on that, and then my design and format comes up. And now I have a place to put my chart title.
Gotcha.
The trend lines disappeared because it's Excel.
Okay, all right, well, I think the first part will get me,
Okay.
will get me through to where I need to be.
All right,
Thank you so much, I appreciate you
Certainly.
taking your time.
Yep.
Oop, I'll get my book. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you.
And Shay.
Yes.
I'm trying to get into the habit here. Or perhaps your parents named you wrong.
Maybe.